Okay, we are live, and you are all very welcome to this webinar called Practical Digital Marketing for Beginners. Alright, so please get comfortable and relax because over the next 45-50 minutes, I'm going to teach you some practical things that you can do to start growing your business online immediately. Um, so let me begin. So just to introduce myself, my name is Brian Duffy and I am the head of Web and Multimedia Studies at Ballsbridge College in Dublin. My speciality is teaching small business owners and marketers how to do business online. So I've developed a system for teaching these skills very quickly to people with no previous experience. Coming up, here's what you're going to learn. Okay, firstly, I'm going to show you how you can build a website in less than 5 minutes. Now, I know that sounds, I guess that sounds ridiculous, but I've got everything prepared in advance, and I'll show you how quickly you can set up a website and install a beautiful design on it. Okay. The next thing I'm going to show you, I'm going to explain which software to use and which software not to use and why. Okay. Then I'm going to show you how to get instant traffic to your site. Again, this may sound sort of fantastic, but really it's just paid advertising. If you want instant traffic, you can buy it on Google or on Facebook, and I'm going to show you how to do it on Google, okay? So you'll see how that works. Then I'm going to show you how to get free traffic to your site. Again, there's no black magic here. I will show you, I will explain search engine optimization and show you how that works. And I'll talk about some strategies people use to get free traffic, like content marketing and social media marketing. And you'll see how they work and how they can draw visitors to your website. All right. When you've got when we've got that covered, I'm going to explain how digital marketing actually works for your average website owner. Okay, so you're going to see how website owners measure their website's performance, how they analyze what's working, how they identify what's not working, and how they make sure that that traffic that they're getting, whether it's paid or free traffic, how they make sure that that traffic converts into sales, into leads, into customers, into money, into all that stuff that you're interested in. Okay, so you'll see how all these things work live on screen. All right. I'm also going to cover a case study. So I'm going to show how one of my students could have saved 95% on his website. So this guy spent 10,000 euros on a website before I met him, and I'm going to show you how he could have got a similar website, a nicer website, in fact, for a fraction of that cost, for around 500 euros. Okay, this is a guy with zero web design experience, zero web design skills, and I'll show you how he could have done that himself. Okay, and how you can do it. And finally, I'll show you another case study just to tie it all together, and I'll show you an example of a real business that's doing the things that I'm going to explain to you about how they get free traffic and then how they convert that traffic into real customers. Okay, so that is what's coming up over the next 45 minutes or so. All right, you need three things to make a website, or sorry, to do business online. All right, those three things are: you need a website that you control. If you can't control it and you can't update it yourself, then you're not in a good position. So you need a website, you need traffic coming to that website, and then you need a system and a strategy for getting that traffic and converting it, like I say, into sales and leads. Okay, so that's what we're going to cover, and we're going to start with the website. All right, so please bear with me for a second while I fire up my web browser and show you how this works. So for a website, you need web hosting. Okay, when you get web hosting, uh, you're renting space on a web server, and you get a screen like this. You get a sort of a control panel like this to manage your hosting account. And from it, the first thing you'll need to do is install your website. Okay, and we're going to use a very simple one-click installer that will do that for us. And we're going to use WordPress, and I'm going to explain to you just in a minute why WordPress is the best. You'll see why it's the best. Okay, so I need an email address, I need a username, and I can just click install. Now what's happening right now is excuse me, that files are being installed on the web server that I've just rented, and when it's finished, uh, the domain name that I chose when I registered my hosting account will contain my WordPress website. So it's given me a password. I've got to copy that and click on this link, and it'll bring me to the login area of my website. Now this is my website, and I can log into it. Okay, it's called a content management system. This is WordPress is software that allows me to easily edit and create content on my website from within my web browser, so it's extremely convenient. And my website looks like this. So that is my basic WordPress website. Now that's not how I want it to look, of course. That's not how you want your business website to look. But from here we can do things. We can create pages, we can do all that stuff, and we can also dramatically change the design. So that's the first thing I'm going to do now. I'm going to go back to my dashboard, which only I have access to as the administrator of my own website. I'm going to go to Appearance, Themes. Themes is another name for design, and I'm going to install a design. Now let me explain about designs for a second. Themes allow you to dramatically change your website's appearance, and there are many websites that specialize in selling themes for WordPress. So there are thousands to choose from, and you can buy them normally between $20 and $100. So there's Woo Themes, there's StudioPress, Elegant Themes, and here's one crowd called Templatic. Okay, they're actually based in India, and they have themes for just about everything, so you can view them all. They have themes for dentists, doctors, bed and breakfasts, hotels, online stores, bands, yoga instructors, you name it. Okay, real estate agents. And the theme I'm going to use in this example is this one. So I can view a demo of this theme, so I can play around with it before I, purchase it. So it looks like this. And when I'm happy, I can buy it. So I can click on View Details, and I can click on Purchase. And the price of this theme for use on one website is $29. Now actually these guys have donated this theme for free, so my students get to work with it for free. But if you wanted it for your real site, it would cost you only $29, so very, very cheap. So I'm going to go back to my WordPress. I'm going to add a new theme. I've already got it downloaded. Choose files. It's on my desktop. It's called the Specialist. I'm going to install it. So what's happening now is that more files are being added to my web server, and it just takes a minute or so to install, and then I have to activate it. And what's going to happen is my website is going to look completely different. So I click on Activate. Now one little thing about this theme actually, which is quite nice, is that the data that comes with the demo, so when you look at the demo, it's got a logo, it's got some nice images, and you can actually install all that stuff on your website with one click. And that's very useful when you're trying to configure it, Anyway, I've clicked on the button, and now when I go back to my website looks like this. So in just, how long did that take? 3-4 minutes? I put a brand new website up on the internet. This website is visible all over the world. Mongolia, Russia, China, South America, you name it. It's live on the web. And I was able to install the software and install the theme in just a few minutes. Now every single part of this theme is configurable. This logo can change, this image can change, this menu can be changed, and the content, the headline, everything, all is it's very easy to change all these things. Alright, so say here there's a page called Services, and it looks like this. It just has a little bit of like placeholder text, kind of like Latin text. And if I want to edit the page, look how easy it is. I click on the Edit Page button, and I can simply use this text editor to add some text or to add images or whatever, and click on Update. And it's that simple to change the content of your website. And like I said earlier, so I just added the word brain at the start, and there it is. So the point I'm making here is, first of all, WordPress is the way to go when you're choosing software for your website. And secondly, you can be up and running in minutes. Now, of course, there's more work involved in planning what your website is going to look like and all that. But once you've got those decisions made, actually doing it is not difficult. All right. There's more things that we can do to this website. So if I go back to my dashboard, there's also things called plugins. So what I can do is I can add functionality to my website by installing plugins. So there's plugins like, for example, if I wanted to add a social networking element, or if I wanted to add a discussion forum, and there's plugins for email marketing and for SEO and for all sorts of things. And I can do a search, I can find all these SEO plugins, and there's one I'm going to install now in a second, and I'm going to show you a little bit later how it works. Alright, so now I've installed an SEO plugin, and I'll activate it, and I'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, but so why is WordPress? Why did I choose WordPress, and why didn't I choose Wix or Squarespace or Joomla or one of those other systems? Well, the main reason is because WordPress is open source. Now, open source means, the reason I chose WordPress is because, first of all, it powers about a quarter of the web, alright? And that includes some large websites like the New York Times, and also lots and lots of small business websites. The reason all those companies choose WordPress is because it's open source. Okay, that means that the files that make up my website are free for me to download and use, and they're also free for me to change. Now that's very important. Software rarely does exactly what you want it to do, and if you're locked into a system like Wix or Squarespace, then firstly, if you want to, they offer features like email marketing and SEO as well, but you have to unlock those. So Wix might say that they're free, and that sounds great, but when you actually go and try to unlock one of those features that you need for your business, you have to pay. And if that feature doesn't work exactly the way you want it to work, then you can't change it. You are completely restricted. With WordPress is different. If I go back and go back to my control panel and go to my file manager, all those files that make WordPress are installed here on my web server, and I can access them all and change them all. Now, you mightn't be able to do that, but you can certainly hire a developer to do it. And because WordPress is so big, because so many people use it, there's loads of these developers available. So if I go to WP Content, for example, I can see all my themes, and there's the specialist theme that I just installed. If the specialist theme doesn't work exactly the way I like it, I can hire a developer to change it for me. And if I don't like this web hosting company, I can take my files and I can bring them somewhere else. And that's the power you get with open source software. And that's what you don't get with systems like Vistaprint and Squarespace and Wix that have you locked in. You're stuck with one provider when you're with those guys, and when you're with WordPress, you are like the master of your own destiny, you know. So that is how you build a website. Okay? You get WordPress installed, you buy a theme that you like, you figure out what you want your site to do, and you get those plugins, you put it together, and you have a website. Now, because I'm a developer, before I was a teacher, I spent 10 years working as a web developer, so this stuff isn't that difficult for me. It's not that difficult for people that are just beginning as well. But if you haven't got an eye for design, sometimes I recommend people actually hire a professional designer to pick the theme and to put the pieces together for them, maybe make a logo and grab some images. So when you do it that way, you're looking at maybe 400, 500 euros for a complete website. When you want to do the work yourself, if you're capable of doing it yourself properly, then you can get a website for less than 100 euros. Alright, so that's the website side of things taken care of, okay? It's not terribly difficult. Next, I'm going to show you how to get traffic, okay, to your website. So there's two types of traffic. There is the free kind, you can get free traffic to your site, and you can also pay for traffic, you can get paid traffic. Okay, so I'm going to start by showing you how I get free traffic to my website, okay? Oops. So this is my website, wpapplied.com, and I have been growing my traffic for the last number of months, since August, by what's called content marketing. Alright, so content marketing is the name of the game if you want free traffic. When you think about sites like Google, they drive traffic to pages and blog posts on your website when the content that's there is relevant for whoever is doing the search. You understand? So if you want more traffic, free traffic from Google, then what you need to do is create new content on your website and make that content relevant or interesting or entertaining for somebody. Okay? So what I do is it's like this. In WordPress, if I want to make a new post or a new blog post, I go to post add new. I want to show you a post I did a few weeks ago. So I click on all posts. It brings up all my old blog posts, and I'm going to look at this one here. Why leading marketers choose WordPress. Okay, so I wrote this blog post about WordPress. There's actually a link to it just under the video, and you can have a read of it. And it's why leading marketers, like I say, choose WordPress. So I wrote the post. I made it interesting as I could, and put in a few pictures. Talked about the history of publishing on the internet and why WordPress is so convenient. And when I was ready, I hit the publish button. Okay, that now it says update, but when you publish it for the first time, it says publish. And if we go and look at the post that I published, we'll see how it works. So it works like this. People go on Google, they say, why should I choose WordPress or something like that? Should I choose WordPress or another system like Wix or whatever else? And those people, some of them, will be directed by Google to this page here on my website. And they'll read the article. If they like it, they'll share it. And you'll see that a certain number of people have shared this one, and it's that's nice. That means that everybody who shared it has shared this post with their friends. If they shared it on Facebook, typically they have about 300 friends on Facebook. If they shared it on Twitter, often it's a lot bigger numbers on Twitter. So they might share it with a few thousand people on Twitter. So that's social media marketing. That is users, visitors, readers sharing my material with their friends on social media, and that's a big part of what's called social media marketing. And underneath, so people read the blog post, and at the end I asked them what their opinion was, or did they have anything to share, and people comment. So these are real people who have come across my website via either Google or Facebook or Twitter or someplace like that, or another blog who's linked to this post because they liked it, and now they're interacting with me. And because I've got WordPress set up properly, I can see exactly how these people found me. So let's go back and look at my post for a second. So what I was able to do when I was writing my post was I was able to add those social media buttons. So there's lots of different plugins for adding social sharing buttons, and you pick the one that's right for you. And I'm not going to get into it now, but I've added this little code here, and that's what actually allows people to share using those buttons. And down underneath my blog post, one thing I'm able to do is I'm able to see all the people who viewed this post. Now, I'm only able to get information on them once they've commented or once they've subscribed, but I can see all the people who have looked at my post, and I can see lots of information about them. So let's check it out. I can see where they first heard of me. Oh my god, okay, so this person found me on Google, alright, and they subscribed to my newsletter, and then they came back to my website a few different times, and they visited all these different pages, and so I can track all the history of how this user has interacted with my website, starting at the very start. And the original referral was google.ie. So this person here is probably based in Ireland. So, but anyway, let's go back to the post for a second. What else can I tell you about this? Oh yes, earlier on I showed you about the SEO plugin for WordPress, and one of the big drivers of traffic, of course, is Google. Now let me show you this. This SEO plugin allows me to create my Google ad. This here is my Google ad. You see, I've got my headline, my link, and I've got full control over this. So I can choose the description. I can write it in myself, and it appears like this. And I can also choose what keyword I'm targeting, and the plugin tells me that I'm doing a good job at optimizing my post for that search phrase. So what I mean by that is people are doing searches on Google, and I can target a specific search. And then this plugin helps me to optimize my page or my post so that I have the best chance possible of being at the top or towards the top of the search results when people type in, for example, choose WordPress. You see? And it actually gives me a detailed page analysis and tells me if I'm doing stuff wrong. So I have to update my page for this to kick in. So I have to update the page. Bear with me now a second. Sorry about this. Kind of slow today. And so I can see my page analysis. And it tells me, okay, I've not done this, I've not done that. And this is a step-by-step tool that allows me to make sure my search engine optimization is in place. And I do it for each post I create, and I go back and I do it for all the pages on my website as well. So all my important pages, if I've got an important page, for example, that's targeting a keyword like WordPress training, for example, then I'll make my page, and when I edit it, I'll make absolutely sure that I've got my search engine optimization in place. And there it is for WordPress training course. You see? And that's how you get traffic. Originally, that's how you get traffic initially, normally, from Google. And search engine optimization is how you get traffic from Google. And once you've got that traffic, so if I go back again and look at that blog post, once you've got traffic, then there's a few techniques that you can use to leverage it. So one technique is you can add social media buttons that gets people to share your traffic, or sorry, to share your content on social media channels, which in turn drives more traffic. And then what you also often should do is you should encourage people to sign up for your blog posts by email. So if they found this if they find your information useful, they will probably would like more of it, updates on it, so they can sign up by email. So the next time you publish a post, you can blast it out via email to all your subscribers. And that's another powerful way of getting more traffic by using previous visitors of your website. Okay, and it's all very free. So let me go back and show you that email marketing. I won't bore you to death with this or go on too long, but it's just I want you to see what WordPress is capable of. So I have a free plugin here, and all these plugins that I'm using are free. And what I can do is I can go to this plugin called MailPoet, and I can write an email from within my own WordPress installation. And this is called email marketing, of course, and it's probably the most powerful form of digital marketing. So I can write a newsletter, I can give it a subject, I have different lists, and you can choose, you can create new ones or choose existing ones. So I can send this email to everybody that has subscribed to my blog over the last few months, and I can write a subject, alright, and then I can just create a beautifully designed email using a straightforward text editor, and say hello, and I can even choose their name. For example, I can say hi, first name, because I get everybody's first name, and write the email. And when I'm finished, I can see a preview of it and send it to myself. And when I'm ready to go, I can hit next, and that will blast out a free email to everybody on my subscriber list. And that email blast can be used to drive traffic to new blog posts, and which often results in shares and likes on Facebook and on Twitter and sites like that. And of course, as I grow my list, I can also use it to promote things. So if I want to try and, say, for example, sell my training course in January, then I can email everybody on my list again and just let them know that it's available, and perhaps offer them a special rate or something like that because they're members of my list. And that is how you get free traffic to a WordPress website. Okay, now there's more to it, but that's the essence of it right there. So that's free traffic. Now what about paid traffic? Well, you can drive traffic to your website instantly, but you have to pay for the pleasure. And there's two main ways to do it. One is called Google AdWords. Okay, and you can simply log into Google AdWords, create an account for free, create a new campaign. So you can choose who you're targeting, what country they're in, what language they speak, and you can choose how much you're willing to pay every day or whatever. And then you can choose, and then in the next step, okay, I can't really get to it now because I haven't got time, but you create your ad, you give it a headline, and you also choose which keywords you want to target. Okay, so you can choose if you want people, say for example, that are typing in for WordPress training, you can target that keyword, and when people type that keyword into Google, it will trigger your ad. You see, that's how it works. And if you want to know what people are actually searching for, if you want to know what keywords are popular with people, there's a free tool for that too. It's called the Google AdWords Keyword Planner, and you can use this tool for free to do research to see what kind of phrases people are searching for. So let me just show you very quickly. So say I do WordPress training, WordPress course, learn WordPress. Which would you say is the most popular? Alright, well, let's find out. So where am I? Okay, here I can see that WordPress training gets about 3,000 searches a month, and learn WordPress is bigger, 4,400 a month. And over here you can see how much you're likely to pay per click. So with the AdWords program, you can create your ad, you can set it to be triggered by these search phrases, and whenever somebody clicks on your ad, you're likely to pay about this much money, which actually isn't cheap. It's kind of expensive. So you need to be making sure that you're going to profit, so that if it takes 100 people to click on your ad to make one sale, then you need to be charging more than €366. Anyway, the other way to do it is Facebook advertising. So with Facebook advertising, you can make highly targeted ads because Facebook knows so much stuff about people. You go to Facebook. Over here on the screen, you've got this option to create ads. Okay, I've already clicked on it. And then you can choose different types of ads. But if you want one that will just increase conversions on your site or send people to your website, you can click on the ad. You can give it a name to promote. Oops. And then you can simply create an ad. But the really powerful part of Facebook is you can really drill into who you're targeting. You can choose their age, you can choose their gender, what languages they speak, and here's where it really gets important. You can choose what they're interested in. So are they interested in WordPress? Are they interested in digital marketing? Or whatever? And if they like pages that are related to these terms, you can just zero in on them, and you can see up here your audience. You can make it more and more specific, and the more specific it is, and the more relevant it is, then the less you pay. You can also choose about behaviors. So are these people, do they buy online? Oh my God, the power with Facebook ads is crazy. And you can choose how much you pay every day, and you can schedule your ads to run at a certain time, and you give it a name, and you upload a few pictures. You can upload, say, up to 6 pictures, and it will just show you, and Facebook will rotate between them and until it finds the most effective ad, and then it'll just show that ad. So really, it's a very powerful stuff altogether. And when you're ready, you just place the order, and boom, you are advertising on Facebook and driving traffic instantly to your website. All right. So that is the deal with getting traffic to your website. You can pay for traffic. And if you want to pay for it, you can pay for it with Google, or you can pay for it with Facebook. You can also put ads on other websites if there's a website that has your target audience already on it. But the better option is to go for search engine optimization, which means you do your keyword research, which then means you go back to your website and you optimize the pages and the content there for search engines. Okay, and there's a step-by-step tool that shows you exactly how to do that. It's very straightforward. So that's the first 2 parts of this presentation. You know how to make a website, you know how to get traffic. The third part is how do you take that traffic and turn it into sales and leads. And how do you measure the value of a customer, or a visitor should I say, onto your website, and how do you do all that digital marketing stuff. So this is where digital marketing really kicks in, okay? This is conversion optimization, taking traffic and converting it, all right? So the first thing you need to do now, and really you should have done this before you even started, was you should have outlined and identified what you want your website to do. So what should visitors do on your website? Do you want them to register for something, apply for something, buy a physical or virtual product? You know, is it a membership site? Do you want them to join it? Do you want them to subscribe to your newsletter? These are questions that you just have to answer, okay? And you don't have to just pick one, you can prioritize them, okay? So you might be setting, for example, a membership site, and that might be your number one priority. But failing that, you might ask or hope that people subscribe to your newsletter, and after that, maybe like you on Facebook or follow you on Twitter. And so if they don't buy right away, you can use these other channels to build a relationship with them over time and maybe sell them at some point in the future. But this is a business decision for you to make. But the thing is, once you have it made, once you know, once your website is doing something, you can measure it, all right, using Google Analytics. Now, let me show you Google Analytics, okay? This is powerful stuff. You're going to love it. So Google Analytics, it's free. This is a free service, okay, provided by Google. You can plug it into your website for free, and it tracks data anonymously on your visitors. So it doesn't tell you who is on your website, but it tells you how many, and it tells you what they're doing, okay? And the insight that this gives you is just unreal. Now if I click here into my website, I can see some data, right? I can see, for example, I can see how many sessions I've had in the last month. So I can see how many visitors arrived to my website in the last month as well. I can see how many of those visitors bounced. The bounce rate is the percentage of visitors who arrive on your site briefly and then hit the back button or leave because they don't like it, okay? So that's a low bounce rate. I'm quite happy with it. I can also see on average how long they've spent on on my site. So almost 3 minutes, which is not too bad. And of course this is just for the last month, but if I scroll up here to the top, I can set the dates back as far as I want, okay? So as far back as I have analytics set up, I can see the data for that. Now what else can I see here? Well, there is a load of information. Let's see, I can see my audience. So I can see, for example, what kind of browser my audience is on. So that'll tell me a lot about how many people I have on mobile devices, iPads, what browsers they're using, stuff like that, whether they're Apple Mac users or Windows users. I can click and see on their location. So I can see what countries in the world are visiting my site. I can zero in, say for example, on Ireland, and I can see that I'm getting a lot of visitors from Dublin and Cork, Waterford should I say, Clonmel, Cork, and not great to be honest, but what are you going to do? I've only started promoting my site recently, since August. But look at the data I can see here. I can see Dublin, how many visitors. I can see how many of them are bouncing, so it's below average. I can see how long the average session is, which is very long, much higher than average, so people from Dublin are spending a long time on my website. And I can see more data, which I will come back to in a second, okay, which is really powerful stuff altogether. Now if I go back, if I scroll down, I can also see acquisition, where my visitors are coming from, where I'm getting them. And if I click here on all traffic, for example, I can see that a lot of people are coming directly. So these are people who type my web address directly into the browser, okay, that's where most people are coming from. So it's people that have heard of me offline, most likely. Then I've got my organic search results, so these are people that are finding me online, okay, that's a healthy number, up on last month. And I can also see, again, I can, just focusing on that organic search, I can see the bounce rate, I can see how long people are spending per session, how many pages they're visiting, and I'm going to come back to this data over here again in a second. So again, I can see Facebook and Twitter, and these are my main top 10 sources of traffic. It's all very interesting. Okay, but the most interesting thing about analytics, the most powerful thing that it does, okay, is that it allows you to input your goals into the system, and then it gives you hard data on what sort of traffic and what sort of visitors are are the ones that are most likely to hit your goals and to do the things that you want. Which ones are worth the most money to you. So let me show you how it works, okay, really quickly. Now if I go to conversions, goals, what I can do is I can type in, so let's talk about goals. For example, say I've got an e-commerce store, I'm selling t-shirts, okay? Now, if a visitor is going to buy one of my t-shirts, they have to go through a bunch of steps. They have to go to my homepage, they have to click on my catalog page, they have to add a t-shirt to their shopping cart. Then from their shopping cart, they have to go to the checkout page where they enter their shipping details and their billing details. And then when they've done that, I redirect them back to a thank you page, okay? And that is my sales funnel. And I know that when they're on my thank you page, that I've made the sale and that they've become a customer. Now I can program that into analytics, okay? And then it allows me to see my sales funnel visually. So it allows me to see how many people are coming in at the start and where I'm losing them during the process. All right. Now this one isn't set up properly. Okay. I'm still I've got to do this stuff that I'm teaching myself, but it's really powerful stuff, and I'm going to be doing it real soon. You needn't worry about that. But you can see exactly at what point in the process people are jumping out of your cart or leaving the process, and that helps you to make the tweaks. So for example, if you know that 100 people have gone into your the start of your funnel, and then a percentage of those have gone to your checkout, and you've lost that big lump of them on the checkout, then you go to your checkout page and you see what you can do to improve. Can you add some assurances, add some testimonials, add some credibility there? What's causing people to run? Why are they scared and chickening out on your checkout page? So maybe there's things you can do at this point to help improve that page, and then keep an eye on this data and see if it improves. So the powerful thing is that it makes it visual, and that allows you to identify where the problem is. Okay, but there is something actually even more powerful. So what I can do also is I can set up this as a goal, and my goal is to sell a t-shirt, and I can also enter how much that goal is worth. So if I make €10 every time I sell a t-shirt, then I can enter that into the system, and now I've got some really valuable data. So if I go back to my acquisition and see where I got my traffic comes from, now look at this data. So say for example I've got Facebook, okay? I've got all my visitors from Facebook. I can see how many of them bounce, I can see how long they stay, but when this is working, I can also see how many of them convert, how many of them achieve this goal, okay? So say 1%. Say 1% of people from Facebook buy a t-shirt. So for every 100 people who come from Facebook, one buys a t-shirt, okay? And if Google Analytics can measure that, it can also measure that goal is worth €10. And it tells me how much a visitor from Facebook is worth. Now Facebook have an advertising program, and if I can buy a visitor on Facebook for less than what that visitor is worth, then it's a very simple matter of just throwing money at Facebook ads and buying those visitors. You see what I'm saying? Like if I can see that if 100 visitors on Facebook to me is worth €10, and I can buy 100 visitors on Facebook for less than €10, then it makes perfect business sense to start a Facebook advertising campaign right away. You see how it works? And Google Analytics gives you that level of detail that allows you to make these decisions. Alright? And that's the digital marketing. That's how it works. So, and if you see it, and if you look at this diagram now, you can see why it's a cycle. It starts with your website. You get a website up on the web and you start testing it, okay? So you make it you make the best website you can as cheaply as possible to test your idea. Then you drive traffic to it. If you're in a hurry, you can just drive traffic on Facebook ads or on Google ads. But if you're sort of in it for the long haul, you can optimize your website and you can start blogging and you can get free traffic that way. And once you've got traffic coming to a website, you can measure it and you can see how much that traffic is converting, how many of your goals are being hit, and then you can tweak your website and redesign it to improve, and you can see how the cycle works. Alright? And that's digital marketing. It's not a black art. You make decisions based on data, and it's a fabulous way of doing business because you know what's working and you know what isn't, and you can very quickly cut your losses. But let me reinforce what I've been talking about for the last few minutes now with some case studies, okay? Two very quick case studies that will show you how this stuff works in real life, how it's been employed by small business owners that I've helped, and how you can do it yourself, okay? So let me show you these two case studies real quick. This was a member, one of the students this year came along. He had this website designed and he wanted to learn how to use it. So this is a shooting ground, and they hired a local Dublin agency to design this website. Now they paid a whopping €10,000 for this website. Okay. Now I'm not here to blame anybody. I'm not here to criticize the web design agency. It can be very difficult working with people who don't know much about websites, who don't really know what they want. But the website is here. It's designed to sell various packages that they have, and basically they want to advertise the shooting club and get people to book a session with them. Now they got the site designed. They had to get it redesigned for it to be mobile friendly, which it is now. Okay, but that cost them extra to get that done afterwards. Now, what could they have done? How could they have saved money? They could have saved a lot of money. Okay, they could have saved themselves up to 90%. Let me show you how they could have done it. So they could have had a look around through the various websites that specialize in selling themes. Okay, I often go to this one first, Theme Forest. This is a marketplace for independent designers to sell their themes. And because it's a club, we're going to do a search for club, and for WordPress, and it will bring up a load of results. Okay, it's found 86 themes for that are WordPress for clubs, and let's look at this one. All right, so it's $58, and we can see a live preview. Now let's take a look around. So it's got a similar color scheme, not entirely different. That could be tweaked. You've got room for your logo. This image here of the American football could easily be replaced, with a guy shooting a gun, preferably. And all the stuff that they have on their website is here. It's like for upcoming events. Let's look at the options. They can have events, galleries. So say they want to sell club membership. Look at that, selling different packages. A lovely, simple design, showcasing the packages, allowing people to buy online. Frequently asked questions. There's also even e-commerce features here. So you could sell, paraphernalia, extras. It's all ready to go. Now you could switch this off. You don't need to include this on your site. But if you wanted e-commerce, it's all part of that $58 fee. You buy the theme, you download it, you install it on your WordPress website, and maybe you hire somebody to replace this logo, to replace this image, and to maybe advise you on what content to put where. But you could have a fabulous website for your shooting club that looks just like this, with all the features that these guys got, and it's all ready to go for $58, and you can be up and running in a day or two. Now that's the advice I give to people, and when people follow that advice, they can make beautiful websites and they can save themselves a lot of money. Okay, so that's the first case study, how these guys, Ballyheary Shooting Club, could have saved themselves a lot of money. They could have got the team and a professional to configure it for them for about €500, which is about 95% less than what they paid. Alright. Okay, so now I'd like to show you a second case study, and it's a second member of WP Applied who I've helped with our business. Okay, and her name is Sarah Keane, and she has a fitness camp business. It's called Fitness Camp Ireland. So down in Portarlington, she trains women how to get fit and be fit and all that stuff. And before she had a website, she used to go around putting up posters, taking ads out in local newspapers, and then on the first evening the ladies would come in and she'd get their money off them. There'd be cash. There was messing around with that, and all in all there was a lot of manual sort of labour going into the marketing process and also the sort of payment process. So she did the course. She set up this website herself. So it cost her very little apart from the price she paid for the theme. And she started doing some of the things that I've been recommending people do. So she started blogging. She started writing blog posts, and those blog posts started bringing in traffic. And she also put in, which is very easy to do, a little Facebook. She integrated her website with Facebook, and it's very easy to do this. It's a part of one of the lessons, and she learned how to have her Facebook page, and a lot of people liked her Facebook page. Almost 4,000 people liked her on Facebook. So she used to, like I say, put up posters and take out ads in newspapers. Now, because so many people like her on Facebook, she's able to just post. Whenever there's a new camp she's running, she's able to post it on Facebook. And she actually gets a lot of sign-ups that way. People see her ad on Facebook. She's not actually, up until now, she hasn't even been paying for the ads. She just makes makes a free post on Facebook, and her followers see it, and they click, and now they can come to her website also, and she has a booking page, and people who are interested in taking her camp can simply book. So she has her options, and this again, I show people how to do this. Now she has a very, this is, I would say, is a fairly primitive way of taking bookings. I'd probably recommend to Sarah that she installs a proper e-commerce plugin, so that she has far more control over payment options and organizing her products in a nicer way. But she did it simply with PayPal, and again, that's something that people on the course learn. And people can pay, and they click, and they go to PayPal. They pay securely and with their credit card, and the money gets dropped into Fitness Camp Ireland's PayPal account, and that can be flushed out then very easily with the click of a button into a bank account. And so, from an automation point of view, Sarah and Fitness Camp Ireland were able to automate two very costly aspects of their business. The first was marketing, and now that she's gone online and gone digital through her website and her blog and her Facebook page, she is able to fill her fitness camps just through digital marketing, which costs her nothing. It's faster and cheaper than her old way of doing it. And also, the first evening that she spent taking cash off people and messing around with cash and receipts, now it's all automated as well. By integrating her site with PayPal, she's able to automate her payment process, and the receipts is all sent out automatically via email, and she was able to greatly reduce the amount of work that she has to do to run her own small business. And that's the power that people have when they learn these skills. So how do you learn all these skills? How do you learn email marketing? How do you learn how to add webinars? How do you learn how to do social media marketing and plug all these things into your website? Alright, well, the truth is you can actually learn it for free. All that information is out there. It's on Google. You can search for it, you can read it, you can learn it. The problem is there's a lot of information. Another problem is that some of it is conflicting, and it can take you quite a while to figure it out if you're doing it all by yourself. Now let me show you how I teach it to people. Alright. So this is my website when it loads. It's called WP Applied, for WordPress Applied. Alright. And what I can do is I can see, this is me, this is my login account as a teacher. I can see the activity from all my members. I can see what lessons they've finished. I can see what questions they've asked, and all that sort of activity. Alright, so if I want to go in and see one of my members, I can see what her website looks like. I can see her course progress. So she's finished the course, she's moved on to some extra bonus lessons, and I can even see the website that she's working on. So let me explain a little bit about this website that she's working on. So let's go and look at the lessons. So how it works is every member on this website gets a free WordPress website to practice on. Alright, so people get to gain the skills by practicing them on a safe website, okay, away from their customers, away from their competitors. So this is the first lesson. See what it looks like. So the first thing you'll notice is you've got these tools along the bottom. So the user can watch a video. Okay, this is the voice coming from the video.
In this first lesson, you're going to create a website free of charge account. Tab containing your instructions, and this new tab where you will carry out the required operations. So back on your lesson tab, carry on to step 2. Highlight the unique web address.
Okay, so that was the video. Sorry about that if you found that confusing. But there's a 5-minute video that explains this exercise, okay? And in this exercise, the user learns how to install WordPress on a web server, alright? So they've watched the video, and now it's just a matter of going to step 1, following the instruction, open a new browser. Step 2, visit this certain web address. Step 3, and they're just going step by step through it until they've installed WordPress, alright? And when they click on this home link here, it brings up their practice website. So all they got to do is click there, and their website opens, and they're able to implement the skills that we're covering in the lesson. Alright? And when a lesson is finished, they go all the way to the bottom, and there's a discussion forum where they can ask questions and get involved, take part in discussions, and then they can finally mark the lesson as complete if it's not yet marked as complete. And then they can proceed to the next lesson. And that's how it works. Each lesson takes about 30 minutes. And there's 20 lessons altogether. And so that means the course could effectively, you could wrap up the whole thing in about 10 hours. So let's look at the lessons for a second. You could learn how to install WordPress, how to do basic operations such as adding new users and stuff like that. Then you learn there's a lesson here that teaches you how to download and install a theme, how to configure a theme properly. Another one that teaches you how to use plugins. So you actually learn how to use a premium plugin that's worth $40, but that was donated to us for free by the provider. Then there's a lesson on how to manage content, so how to create pages and create posts, and how to work with text and images. And then we get into the digital marketing side of things. So there's a full lesson here, step by step, on keyword research. Once you've got that done, a lesson on search engine optimization. So what you'll have is, you'll have your video, you'll have your step-by-step notes, you'll have your practice website, and you'll work through your practice website following the step-by-step instructions. And at the end of it might take a half hour, maybe 45 minutes, but at the end of it you will know how to do SEO. And then you will know how to do SEO on your real website. So once you've learned it on your practice site, you're ready to implement it for real on your real website. That's the idea of these lessons and how it works. So let me just quickly show you the rest of the lessons. There is search engine marketing. There's content marketing, so that's how you make blog posts that go viral, and how to do social media marketing, how to add Facebook and Twitter sharing buttons and like boxes and stuff like that. Then there's lessons on how to develop a community on your website, and how to do email marketing. So you'll learn how to set up an autoresponder within WordPress that will blast out emails to all your subscribers, and you could also use to write emails in advance and have them drip fed, to new subscribers. So for example, you could have somebody subscribe to your email, and then you might send them one email on the first day and then another email 3 days later, and that can all be pre-programmed, okay? And you'll learn how to do that. There's a lesson on e-commerce, so you can learn how to buy stuff and accept payments online. And affiliate marketing, which is another digital marketing strategy that actually allows you to pay others a commission when they refer new customers to your site. It's very interesting, especially for anybody who has e-commerce on their website. So there's another lesson here on how you do PPC advertising with AdWords. So again, you'll be stepped through it, and in 45 minutes or so, you will know how to set up an AdWords campaign, with Google. There's also a lesson on how you can actually buy ads on other websites, and how you can sell advertising space to others who are interested in advertising to your audience. So there's a plugin for that, and you actually learn how to set it up so that you can actually automatically sell advertising space to partners. Then there's a lesson on taking backups and how to make sure your WordPress website is secure. And finally, there's lessons on how to use Google Webmaster Tools. So these are very interesting tools that can help webmasters do various things, like getting a notification when anybody mentions your name, for example, on the internet. And finally, there's the lesson on Google Analytics, which ties it all together and really allows you to measure your site's performance and the effectiveness of your digital marketing strategies. So those 20 lessons take between 10 and 15 hours to complete. And at the end, not only do you know in theory what the different skills are, like SEO and email marketing, but you actually know how to implement them yourself on a live website. All right? So they are the 20 core lessons, and there's also a bunch of bonus lessons which step people through building different types of websites. So I've managed to do deals with some of the leading team companies, and they have offered for free some of their best designs that normally cost between $50 and $100, and they're available for free so that you can learn how to build a photography site or a restaurant site or a blog site, for example, using a proper premium theme and getting stepped through how to configure it and how to make sure the design is optimized for maximum impact and maximum conversions. So if you want, we can take a photography site, for example. You learn how to build a beautiful photography theme, just like this one. There's a demo. Each lesson has a demo, and you can build a beautiful photography portfolio like this with a lovely. So if I go to my portfolio page, with a very simple method for scrolling through photographs, and this is a very professional, fabulous looking website for a photographer. And again, this theme is 70 or 60 or $70, but it's free for members who want to experiment and who want to learn how how it works, how to build a photography website. All right, and there's other examples, of course, and there's a video and all the usual step-by-step notes, just like the other lessons. And the same goes for various types of websites. All right, so thank you for taking part in this webinar. I really hope you found this information useful and that you get to use it and put it to use for your business on your website. To summarize, I highly recommend that you create your website cheaply and quickly with WordPress. Use ready-made themes from theme companies and ready-made plugins to get your website up and running quickly and cheaply. Now you'll need traffic. If you want free traffic, then get the SEO plugin installed and start optimizing your pages for search engines. Also, start blogging, start creating content on a regular basis. That content, as you get better at writing it and as your readership grows, you'll see that it's bringing more traffic to your site, more traffic from Google and also more traffic from social media sites when those blog posts get shared. Now, if you're in a hurry or you want more traffic, then the paid options are the two best ones are with Google AdWords and with Facebook ads. Now, when people do come to your website, I highly recommend that you encourage them to subscribe either by email or on a social media channel like Facebook or Twitter, because once people are gone, they're gone. If you have their email address, then you're able to reconnect with them again in the future. You're able to add more value, offer them more value by sending them your blog posts, and when the time comes for you to promote your products or your services, you'll have that email address, and from within WordPress you can blast out an email to all your subscribers and make sales. Also, as I mentioned, you should be measuring everything with analytics. Get analytics integrated with your website and start measuring its performance, and then use that data to optimize your site for conversions, and let that information feed back into your design process so that when you're tweaking your website or when you're going for a complete redesign, you will be able to make intelligent decisions based on that real data. Alright? Now, about the course, you can learn these skills by searching on Google and by trial and error, but if you want to learn them quickly, you can learn them in about 15 hours, and you can master these skills by working through these short, sort of high impact exercises on a practice website. The practice website, it's away from your customers, it's away from your competitors, and it's really what makes our course unique. No other digital marketing training course gives you this, and no other digital marketing training course allows you to actually work through real exercises. It's theory, but you need more than theory. You need skills that you can use yourself as well. About the course, you can work from anywhere. It's all you need is a laptop or a PC, and it's fully on demand, which means that the lessons are ready made and they're ready to go whenever you are. So if you have half an hour or 45 minutes to spare at any time of the day or night, you can log in and complete a lesson. And when you've got a lesson complete, you're then ready to take those skills and apply them to your real business website. The site is also designed very carefully so that if you do have questions, those questions get answered very quickly. Okay, there's discussion forums on every lesson. You can ask a question without leaving the page, and that message will arrive on my iPhone, and I will be able to respond to it immediately. Another advantage of the course is that we have regular live events where you can log in and talk to me in live video about your problems, about your business, and I'll be able to offer you specific help for you and your problems. So spaces on the course are limited to 50. The course is running in January. We're taking registrations now, and I know people might get a little bit nervous about doing an online course, and so if you're not 100% satisfied within 30 days, on the condition that you haven't done more than 50% of the course, and that all gets tracked, then you can get a full refund, no questions asked. Alright, now I'm sorry if I didn't get around to answering your questions today. Those questions, I have received them, and I will get on them right away. Okay, I'll email you out an answer if you did ask a question very shortly. Okay, in the next few hours. Okay, now if you like this webinar, you can do me one favor and say thanks by clicking on the share options at the very top of the screen. Share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook. It's a free webinar, and it's been designed to help as many people as possible to understand digital marketing and to grow their businesses with WordPress. Now, if you are still unsure about doing the course and you'd like to talk to me, then there's a link that will take you to my website where you can where you can book a free consultation. I'll call you up either by phone or on Skype preferably, especially if you're not in Ireland, and we'll have a free consultation and we'll discuss your problems and see if it's the right fit for you. And if you're anxious to get your place booked, you can register your place and get it booked by clicking on the button that appears on this video as soon as I stop talking. Okay, and I'm going to stop talking just now. So again, thanks very much. I'll answer your questions shortly, and I look forward to hearing from you. Okay, and very best of luck with your business.